TayRayGun's Legos, bricks and toys.
All right, toy fans. So, man, we're here. So I told you, like I told you, we're gonna do one. I was gonna do the other one right behind it. So the following day. So, yeah, this is a cool set. So out of the two, there's a part of me that likes this portion more, but I also like the other half really, really well. So there's, for me, between the two, I like both sides a lot. I think that there's a lot of play value in this particular set. So we're looking at Sluban, another Sluban set, another space one. This is M38-B1198. Unfortunately, this one is not available on Amazon, though I put the link for the other one down below. So if you're wanting to get the other one, and of course there's the link for that video there. So if you want to see it, I've got that link there. Down below, I got the link for the other side if you're wanting to get that. This one I ended up getting on AliExpress. It's the only place I could find it. Now, this is, of course, the other side of the station, and I call this the engine side because we get this really cool kind of almost like a, here, let me turn that up just a little bit. It's almost like a little light, not a light thing, but an engine, like engine fire burning kind of on the back. So this feels very much like an engine. You get, of course, the guy inside. You get 3 minifigs with this. And this, I feel, is more of the engineering side of the module. Uh-oh. I knew one of those. So they utilize, and I'm going to go ahead and say it right now, they utilize these little one-to-one side studs. These things, I like them. Question mark? They're okay, but sometimes they'll stud into one side and then they don't want to pick back up and do what they're supposed to do. Alright, that's a little bit better. Alright, so in this we get our little minifig here. So we got a little space guy. Let's start on this side over here. We get, of course, a little engineering panel, which is a little bit different than the engineering panel from the other side. There's really nothing else in there. The other one has like the joystick and all this. This one doesn't have that. So I think if you combine the two together, it makes a lot more sense because the other side will feel more like a driving section, and this one not so much. This one seems to be having a hard time letting the minifig in. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and press that back in. There we go. Alright. You know, things and stuff. Now, this just plugs in, so it uses those kinetic pins there that plugs in there. We get these kind of rotating panels here. They're on a double clip, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but you know, they're okay. They're okay. They get the job done. You can fold that up however you want. So there's a lot of play value in that. You get this little engineering section here. I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. So you get this little engineering section here that's got like a little computer inside that looks like a drop module. And yes, it is. If you were to take the control portion of the station off and flip these up and these down, you can connect a little parachute to this. There you go. So you can connect a parachute to this and drop this back down to the ocean, whatever you want. Whoosh. Which is pretty cool, except now you have missing pieces on your space station. So hey, the thought of it is nice. I feel like this should have been maybe a little more on like the back end or somewhere else other than right here. But it's still a very, very, very nice detail. Now, if you look in here, of course, we can see that we've got a guy in here. We got kind of science station-y stuff in here. I'm going to go ahead and pull this off so we can look in. We have these panels here that open. Now, this one opens, but there's a computer in the way, so that's something to keep in mind. Pull that one off. You get it that opens over here, but this is also in the way. But you got cool little details as far as like station work, and I think that's like supposed to be some sort of like food thing. You can come in here and you can do your station stuff in here, which I think is pretty cool. And again, they use those double clips in there. And the same thing over here. You can open this up and there's like a station there, a guy in a basic uniform. And then of course you've got your space person out here that clips on, and then you've got an opening hatch. Now, what they were smart about with this is they were smart to have it to where you could lift this up. Now, when you do, that tends to want to push these forward and in, and you gotta kind of make sure you don't smash them. But there's a ton of detail work on the inside. You got these really cool readout panels. The engines at 88%. This stuff over here, you got these kind of switches back here. See if I can get that in there so we can see. There's like, there we go. There's like some switches in there that utilize these skis that are kind of like little. Let's see if I can pull one out. They're really, really cool. Yeah, there we go. They're radioactive pieces, and both of them come out. So you can actually take those out and plug them back in. If I can get it back in. Oh, curse these adult-sized hands. Isn't that what Shazam said? Yeah, and then that would just plug right back in there, and you got handles for that as well. There's really cool detail as far as the station panels, things like that. We'll take this guy, we'll plug him in right here. Now, what I do like is if you were to take this piece right here and plug it in and open that up, you do have, I'll push that back in, you do have a nice crawl space between one module and the other. So you can actually go and see one way into the other, which is pretty cool. No engineering bay. We don't have that. We don't need it here because, well, that's, I mean, that, well, I say engineering bay, more like satellite, work bay, because that comes on the other set. Now with this, they do have these. Let's see if I can lift that up just a little bit. And get out of the way, spaceman. They do have these, so these pegs are left open. So you can just take that, peg it right to there, and you only have a little bit of spot to have that locked in. Now, we do have this sort of space door thing here. I would hate to be the person to open that with this guy in here that has no spacesuit, because he dead. If that's the case, he's not going to be surviving. Oh, that's just something to keep in mind, guys. We can, of course, we got another mechanical arm here for our spaceman, so we can actually put him in just like that. And, of course, these spacesuits are removable. So you've got just your basic Sluban character. Fits in. The helmet doesn't lift or anything, but it does have pluggable parts on each side. And, of course, on the bottom, you could also plug it into the bottom of this. And, of course, they have anti-studs on their feet and the bottom of their legs as well. They also have a little spot here that they could do a person-to-person grab, so one person can grab their suit if they wanted to, which is a nice feature. They're not too detailed, and I think that works in this case, because then that allows them to have a little bit more playability. Now, we put these pieces on here, boom, and boom. And then, of course, put the module here on the front, and it sits up like this. Now, that booklet, real quick, we'll kind of run through. I found this one to be a lot better. Now, this one didn't have a box. Just to let you know, I did not get a box with it because I got it off of AliExpress and not off Amazon, so it did not have a box. I've seen these things go on TikTok, but I haven't seen this particular set on TikTok. So, I have to search around and look. If I happen to see it, I'll probably put it in my shop on TikTok. kind of sponsor it, whatever I can do, because it's a pretty solid set. But the key feature is that this attaches to that to create one long station. And it does. It's actually pretty cool. All these pictures here are actually from this part of the module, not the other. Though we do get to see that these lift up, so you can get some play in there. You can take that module and break it off. Overall instructions on this are pretty basic. I enjoyed quite a bit of this. I felt like this one went rather fast. Didn't have too many problems build-wise. I felt like it was just nice and solid, really cool build overall. Yeah, and then of course you've got that where you can do a story here. I still haven't gotten this set. This one I think attaches somehow to these, so that might be something I might look at down the road. Now, I'm going to go ahead and grab out of my extra parts, and the one thing I want you to keep in mind is that these two Technic pins do not actually come in any of the Sluban sets. I happen to have a bunch of extra ones, and I pretty much I grabbed a bunch of them from another set, and I was like, I'll just use these. So you're going to have to add your own Technic pins. But if you have, of course, this station here, and then you have this station, you can connect them together. And so now you have one ginormous station. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, like, this thing is probably it's probably right at about 22 inches, 24 inches. There's a lot here. This thing is huge, and you can, you know, set these however you want. So you've got all this, and you can decorate it how you want. And I like to think of it like this, where this engine's going, and this station is hurtling, doing what it needs to do. This is awesome. Back in here, you have options to anchor more things on the other station. This side, you do not. So that's something to keep in mind. And I don't know if this actually can tie. No, it doesn't. It just ties to that module there. So that's kind of things just to keep in mind. I guess you could switch out one into the other and connect that there if you want, as long as you have pins to do it. You could connect that together there, and you can basically build this however you want, which is a lot of fun. That makes this well worth the money that you paid for it. So with that, I think that these sets are downright amazing. I think they're a lot of fun. Like I said, this particular set here could not find on Amazon, but this set I do have listed in the shop there. Links down below. You can get it there. If you decide to get this, reach out to Sluban. Let them know I sent you, man, because I want them to know that I'm enjoying their stuff. I like their stuff quite a bit. So you don't have to. I'm just playing on that. But no, totally do it. I did find these two sets to be really fun overall. Build-wise versus this, versus the, I guess, like the medical ship and the Sakura tram. I felt like their space sets are creme de la creme for Sluban. Really good stuff. So I definitely say you should probably get it. If you like space, this is right up your alley. Hey, listen, if you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications to be alerted if anything comes from me to you. Like this video, helps you to know what you like and what I'm making, and comment down below. Would you get these two sets? I think they're worthwhile. I think that if you like space stuff and you want to actually play with the Legos, this is kind of on that level of play. It's really good. And I'd like to kind of fix this up a little bit to make this a little more playable, taking that section off. So I might be playing around with the modularity of this overall. So yeah, happen to like it quite a bit. So comment down below, how do you feel like, how would you like this? How would you like it presented? What would you put on the end? Maybe I can see if I have maybe some Lego station pieces that might fit to it. That might be kind of cool. I can do a short on that. Hey, listen, I thank you all for showing up today. I really do appreciate it. You have no idea what that means for me. Share this out with your friends. Help the channel grow. I appreciate you all conversating with me and helping me out. So hopefully this helps us. These sets are pretty inexpensive, so hopefully this hits you and lets you help you become the better budgeted brick builder that we all want to be, right? Feels like that's an awful transition, but you know, that's the way that goes, right? Hey, listen, I love you all. Jesus loves you more. There's nothing you can do about it. Good luck with the build and happy brick hunting.